Very good afternoon to all. This side Dr. Amit Saxena from Shri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya Indore. And my topic for today's presentation is analytical analysis of concentration of charge carriers in polymer electrolyte through different theoretical models. This will be the presentation of my talk. For the sake of completeness, I will focus some point on the concept of electrochemical cells, classification of electrochemical cells. Very interestingly, a very important part of this discussion would be the introduction to the batteries, rechargeable batteries in particular, important component of batteries and their required properties. And out of these all major component for any battery or electrochemical cells, polymer electrolyte would be the point of interest. Like in our case also, we are synthesizing the solid polymer electrolytes by incorporating the different salts and fillers into the host polymer, and we calculate the concentration and mobility by different theoretical model to support the change in conductivity in our system, and finally conclude the presentation. Now, as I told you that before starting my talk, I will enlighten something about electrochemical cells. So, electrochemical system is comprises of vessels containing electrolyte into which two electrodes are dipped. These electrodes are connected by first class conductor, either the source of electric current. During electrolysis, chemical reactions of ions occur at the electrode due to passes of electric current. In an electrolyte cell, the flow of current produces a chemical reaction. In a galvanic cell, electric current is generated in consequence of chemical reaction proceeding at the electrode. This is very fundamental about the electrochemical cells, which we usually go through in our class 10th or sometime class 12th in chemistry. So this is the basic idea. Whenever we are using electrochemical cells, two major reactions are going inside the electrolyte and electrodes. That is the redox reaction and oxidation reaction. So when we are releasing any electron throughout the system or during the reaction, redox means the reaction during which electrons are consumed, right? Electrons are being consumed into the system. And oxidation is the process where the electrons are get released during the electrolysis process. The atoms or a molecule which loses electrons are known as reducing agent, and consequently which the substances accept the electrons are called as oxidizing agent or oxidant, right? Because oxidizing agent is always being reduced in a reaction, and the oxidant reagent is always become reduced in their quantity whatever we use in the initial. This is a very peculiar diagram for electrochemical cells. In general, we have the electrolytic cell and the voltaic cell. We will discuss a bit about the voltaic cell. You can see we have the two jars with the copper depositions on the electrode, and the zinc electrode erupts or the dissolves in the system, as mentioned in the previous slide, the reduction and oxidation process. This is the salt bridge where the ions can move from one side to another side. And when the electrolysis process take place, the good conducting material, like as mentioned in the previous slide, like the connecting wire is connected to the load. In this diagram, the bulb is being connected to the load in place of load. And when the reaction take place, the bulb start glowing. So this is what the overall reactions going on between the electrode and electrolytes, and the due to of oxidation and reduction process, the current starts flowing through the external. Now the battery overview, when we coming up to the design of a battery, which we usually use in our remote cells or in our toys and all. So battery has a metal plastic case which consists of three major components: anode, cathode. These are electrodes and electrolytes. Again, electrolytes is very important parameter through which the ions are supposed to move from one side of the electrode to another side of the electrode. The separator creates a barrier between the anode and cathode so that the system should not be short circuited and there should not be a chance of any explosion of this. Current collector is the middle of cell containing conducts electricity to outside the circuitry. So there are two types of batteries we have in the market. First is disposable batteries, or you can say primary batteries, which are non-chargeable, and secondary are the rechargeable batteries or secondary state of batteries, where we have the system to recharge our battery again, and we can be used for the battery again after the discharge. So this is about primary cell. I will not discuss the more about. I will let me come to the secondary belt directly. These are actually rechargeable batteries. Reaction can be readily reversed. Similar to primary cell, expect reaction can be reversed. While recharging, the electrode undergoes the opposite process, that discharging. Cathode is oxidized and produce electrons. Electrons absorbed by the anode. This is how the process works on. This is how the process works on. And by virtue of that, we can recharge our battery again for the next use after getting fully discharged. The major component of any electrochemical cells or the batteries are the anode, the cathode, and the electrolyte. Anode and cathodes are the electrodes, and it should have very good electronically conductive. And electrolyte is something which is in between your electrodes, and it should be very high in ionic transport or ionic conductivity, right? So when we are coming with the as I told you earlier that our area of interest is electrolyte. So this electrolyte should be strong in ionic and conductive. No electronic conductivity is required. Non-reactivity with the electrode materials. If there would be any reaction will take place between electrode and electrolyte, then there would be chances of higher heat release or the explosion also. Properties resistance to temperature fluctuations, safeness in handling, low cost, and aqueous solutions such as dissolved salt as alkalines are often used as an electrolyte, the traditionally available batteries. But nowadays, the liquid counterpart is replaced by the solid polymer electrolytes. So let us have a look over the polymer electrolytes and the idea of the solid polymer electrolyte also. The concept of polymer electrolyte was introduced somewhere in 1973 by Fenton, where polymer electrolytes are basically polymers containing salt, acid, ionic liquid, etc., which provides ions to move through the insulating polymer matrix. Here the word insulating is they are not conductive for electrons, but they would be conductive for the ions, right? So polymer electrolytes possess number of intrinsic qualities over other type of ionic conducting materials, like especially for liquid. These properties are shape versatility, film formability, flexibility, lightweight, electrolyte leakage, internal shortening, use of corrosive solvent and production of harmful gases and all things. And these all properties make polymer electrolytes the potential candidate for preparing the rechargeable batteries. Here, the polymer electrolytes can be classified in two broad categories. First, based on their source and origin. Another is based on the physical state and composition. Based on source and origin, we can classify our polymer in two parts. First is natural polymers and second is synthetic polymers. Once we introduce some salt into this natural polymers or synthetic polymers, we can convert this polymer into polymer electrolytes and they become good ionically conductive. In the same manner, the physical state based composition are being classified into gel polymer electrolytes, solid polymer electrolytes, and composite polymer electrolytes. Right? So these here I shown a tabular representation of some natural biopolymers. Nowadays, the natural biopolymers are very widely used in polymer electrolyte because they have so many advantages over the synthetically available biopolymers, or synthetically available polymers, sorry. And like agar protein, soya gel, galactine, these are so popular biopolymers available to us, chitosan also. But if you come up with the table of ionic conductivity, you find that all naturally available biopolymers, when they are converting it back to the biopolymer electrolytes, they are still struggling with the very low ionic conductivity. So it would be a good area of work for someone who want to start their area of research in the polymer electrolytes. We can think over the production of biopolymer and polymer electrolytes. Okay. So the more important part of biopolymer should be the ionic conductivity is most important properties. And whenever we are saying that the polymer electrolyte should be good ionic conductive means it should have low crispinity and very high amorphous nature. To increase the ionic conductivity, we can think about the polymer blending, utilization of comb branching, incorporation of some dopant enhancing, addition of inorganic spillers and all. Now, in our we synthesize the fullerene as a dispersite for our polymer electrolyte thin films. We prepare the fullerene into the inside the laboratory by collecting the carbon soot by burning the fluorescent ball, and we dissolve it into benzene and make it sterile for more than 5 to 8 hours. Make it filtration. We find a wine color solution, and further it is characterized by NMR to confirm the fullerene behavior. We find the methanofullerene in that. And the thin films are prepared by the standard solution cast technique method, where we disperse the weight amount of 660. Now, in the part of characterization, we did the structural characterization, thermal characterization. In the present presentation, I am concentrating more toward the electrical characterization. Over that electrical I am more interested in the concentration and the mobility charge carriers. And we calculated the concentration charge carriers by 3 different theoretical models to support our change. Right. These are the few parameters which we have taken out from the impedance spectroscopy, electrical impedance spectroscopy data, EIS. We have taken the data from EIS and we have calculated all these. And the most important, as I told you earlier, that we are interested to calculate the concentration by some theoretical model. First model which is being used is Rice and Roth model, which has been introduced in 1972. These all are the parameters which can be found through the impedance spectroscopy data. And this is based on the hypothesis that conducting ions can be thermally excited to propagate as free charge carriers throughout the solid with the above. Second is the Almond and West. We have not yet used this formula in our presentation, but this could be the formula by which we can calculate the concentration of charge carrier, and it is based on the concept of thermodynamics on electrolytic films. The next is Truchan model. We have used this model to calculate. This is based on the diffusion coefficient of the ions into the polymer electrolytes. And the next is Scott and Greed model and the Greenbaum model. These all 3 models we have used in our presentation to understand the change in the conductivity behavior. Come to the conductivity part. You can think the conductivity is keep on changing when we are increasing the concentration of the fullerene into the host little of PEONAI. You find the conductivity increases abruptly at 28% of the concentration. The random change in conductivity or variation in conductivity can be explained or can be understood by the percolation model. Very interestingly, when we calculated the constitutional charge carriers by this Kurt and Grid model, Truchan model, and Greenberg model, we find that the pattern of this concentration is very much similar to the change in conductivity of our system. So, where we can easily conclude that the change in conductivity of any polymer electrolyte is attributed to change in concentration of charge carriers into the system. So here we concluded that C60 dispersed PUNAI based polymer thin films were prepared by standard solution cast technique. The conductivity of thin film was calculated with the electrical impedance spectroscopy data. We found that the conductivity film was increased with the increase in concentration of C60. The variation in conductivity can be explained by percolation model. The concentration for all these samples were calculated with different theoretical models, Kurt and Grid model, Truchan model, and Greenman model, and we concluded that all these 3 models supports our change in conductivity, and also we can say that the change in the conductivity is attributed to the change in concentration charge carriers into the system. So thank you very much.